Hey everyone, I am the Chosen One Legend here, as always joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Kai, also known as Vascarine.
And welcome back to BunchaJokahs, where we talk all Nintendo news from the past month. And today we actually have a guest with us, and thank goodness it's not Sam, you're safe for now. Instead, would you like to introduce yourself, guest?
Hey there, my name's Tom. I'm a friend of both Matt and Kai, and yeah, I like Nintendo games.
No
way. But yeah. No.
Wait, we're meant to like Nintendo games?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't fill you in.
Oh god.
I thought this was a Sony podcast. Oh, damn.
Yeah. Sonic Mania, really good game, man.
Yeah. But yes, welcome Tom, and thank you so much for joining us for our usual discussion. It's going to be some good times.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I've been watching the podcast for the past, I don't know, however long it's been coming out.
That's quite relevant actually, because it has been a year now. It has been about a year since we first released our first episode back in May 2020. And damn, time goes quick when you're in a pandemic, doesn't it?
A little bit.
True.
In some ways quick, in some ways very, very long. It's sort of a bit of a mixture of both. But yeah, it's been a great time, and here's to another more year, hopefully. We do actually, to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of BunchaJokahs, we do have a special anniversary video we're going to be releasing, and we'll have more info on that at the end of the of this video. So do stay tuned for that. We of course have timestamps in the description below, so if you want to jump around to different sections, you can. But we'd always recommend staying for the whole thing, because we've got quite a bit of news and other games to talk about here, if you guys are ready to get started.
Let's
For sure.
Well then, let's crack on with the first segment of the podcast. Can't have a podcast without news, baby. Yes, those dumb names are still sticking after a year, not getting rid of them. But in this in this section, we talk about the various news that's happened this month, and there's not been anything mega major, but we've had quite a few variety of different stories. And starting things off, now I was originally sort of waiting to have Tom on to talk about LEGO Star Wars news, and we kind of got some, but sadly the news is that LEGO Skywalker Saga has been delayed to who knows when, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I think we all here have, played Lego games, and I personally really love them. I mean, I played Lego Star Wars Complete Saga on my streams, and I was really looking forward to it. But I reckon the fact that they're delaying it hopefully means it'll be of better quality. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've always loved Lego games. I actually played Lego Star Wars before I watched the Star Wars films, so it's pretty much got me into a massive part of my fandom, because I'm a huge nerd now, as you can probably guess from the fact I'm doing this podcast. But yeah, so I just want it to be the best game it can be. So if taking the time to let that happen is going to make it not rushed and a mess, then I am on board for a time delay. And it's given the pandemic and that, it's understandable things have been delayed. It's hopefully we'll hear something soon. I just want to see some gameplay, because we haven't really seen much at all yet. So I'm quite intrigued what it's going to play like.
Did they specify anything about the delay, like when they're putting it to, or the reasoning, or?
This is something I should probably have written down, but as far as I'm aware, they didn't give like a release date or like a confirmed extra time, so we don't know when it's pushed back to. And I think it was just a sort of general, the game's not ready yet and we need time to get it ready. But I mean, they've had
cool, then.
They've had the pre-order bonus for like several months out now, so they seem like something's happened that's shifted things back. It'll be interesting to see if the final product turns out good. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, if they're delaying it, then that means they are willing to put in the effort to make it better. So it should turn out good.
Exactly.
Sure.
Just let me play as Lego size Snootles, and that's all we need.
Yep.
So
it'll be just like Balan Wonderworld, I'm sure.
Kai, get out.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that here.
He who shall not be named has just been brought up. But let's segue that into our next topic. Thankfully not Balan Wonderworld. But we do have a breaking news here, because we found out who killed Mario. It turns out that Yellow is sus, because Pacman 99 has come out to replace Mario 35 now. That's a segue. I'm proud of that one.
I was
But,
going to say.
Let's talk about these segues.
Sorry, that was the most. That was amazing. I thought you were going to go on to Among Us or something. Yeah, I was like, damn. All right, going into Among Us.
But yes,
99.
Pacman 99. What do you think, Kai?
I mean, battle royales, they're becoming big, aren't they? They have been for the last couple of years. Tetris was a cool one. Mario 35 was a cool one. This is pretty cool too. I think they've made another good one in the series. It's pretty fun. It's not too hard. I like all the unique mechanics they've added to it. So overall, it seems like just a pretty standard good game, to be honest.
Tom, have you had a chance to play it yet?
I have not, but I watched Kai play it on his stream, which was. It looked intense. I'm not very good at. I'm not very good at battle royales. I know I've played Fortnite with like Sam and that. Like, I know Matt, you've won by sitting in a bush.
Yep, the strat.
Exactly. Mario 35 I was terrible at. Tetris especially I was awful at. But I'm looking to give it a go. It's not a timed one like Mario, is it? It's just like permanently on the eShop.
It's permanently there. You can also, there's an option to pay for it as well. You can get some like different themes, and sadly, playing with friends in rooms is locked to money, where you have to all buy it, which sucks.
That's such a bad idea. Can we talk about that? Like,
that is bizarre.
What was it, like £10 or something?
10 quid?
Yeah, about 11 quid or something
person.
like that.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
per person, just to have like multiplayer lobbies. Like, I like Pacman, I think it'd be cool multiplayer, but for every person, £10? Come on, I don't like Pacman that much.
No.
That's why you could do that at like an arcade. Like,
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, not at the moment, sadly.
yeah, true.
It's sad.
True.
But yeah, it's
Got me there.
that's a bummer. But the game itself, I've really enjoyed. Here I come with the flex. I've got 2 consecutive first places, and there we go, flexing
Damn.
those Pac-Man muscles. I'm actually too scared to play again because I'll break my streak. I know it, but it's really fun. I've enjoyed it a lot, and I don't know how I got those first places. Honestly, it's complete luck. I'm not gonna lie, but I think the game's got a really good balance between the 2 previous games, because I think Tetris 99 really hits that arcadey game, and it works in the formula well. But it's really punishing if you're not great at Tetris. It is very hard for a new player to get even into the top 50, never mind the top 10. And with Mario, I think that's a little bit easier, particularly for me. I'm a platformer fan. But it doesn't gel as well with the 35 formula, I don't think. The games go on really long, and it gets quite repetitive. Whereas Pac-Man, I think, is a bit of best of both worlds. It's got the arcadey nature of Tetris, and it's a bit more accessible in a way that Tetris wasn't. So I think because of that, I've enjoyed it probably more than the other 2. So I'm definitely looking forward to coming back to it. Should be good fun. And who knows what other 99 games are coming up? Any predictions there?
That's a good question.
Balan
Layton
Wonderland
99.
99.
Tom, alright, that's it.
Let's go.
I'm doing this solo now, you're both out. I'm calling Sam right now. I don't care what time it is for him in Australia.
You're replacing us with Sam?
Yeah, fair enough. You've got me there. You can stay for now.
Damn.
That's the negotiator.
Let's move into more positive news here, because Nintendo did have a Nindie World, a little Nindie Direct, announcing quite a few games. I thought it was quite good. So before we get into some more specifics, what did you guys think of the overall presentation of it?
Go for it, Tom.
I really liked it, to be honest. I thought it was one of the stronger Nindie Directs or Nindie showcases. Some of the games that they showed on there I thought were really good. Ollie Ollie World really caught my attention. I really liked the colour scheme and the way that it was kind of presented. I thought it looked really cool. I wasn't expecting a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat 'em up. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oxenfree. I think a lot of people were expecting Silk Song as the final announcement.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Oxenfree looks pretty cool. There were some other ones as well that I thought looked really dope. I'll see if I can find what ones it was, because I can't necessarily remember.
I think
cool.
What I thought about it was there wasn't any massive hitter along the lines of Silk Song or a Zelda indie game like Cadence of Hyrule or Cuphead. But what there was a very consistent lineup of good-looking games. Whereas even if I wasn't like massively interested in all of those, they all looked really good. There wasn't really a weak one in the showcase, and that is they kept it to a good length. Especially if you compare it to Microsoft did one. It was either last month or this month, and it went on for like an hour and a half, and it sucked because it was so drawn out. So Nintendo's got a really good rhythm going with it. I thought it was quite good. What did you think, Kai?
Yeah, they're honestly quite nice because you may have noticed like a lot of the time in the main directs. Well, of course we haven't had any for a while, but it definitely used to be a problem. Is there was just a lot of filler games that were indie, and everyone was like, "Well, these are cool, but I'm not going to pay attention
Kai,
to them because I want to hear more about Smash Bros."
Excuse me, how is Bakugan Champions of Destroyer filler? That is quality content.
After all, Bakugan Brawl, it is a big brawl, as they say.
That's what they say. Yeah, that's what
they call it.
But like in the old directs, like people didn't really pay attention to the indie ones. I noticed a lot of the time because everyone cared about Smash, which is fair. So it's nice that they've made the indie showcases to focus these on, and yeah, as you say, this was one of the best ones yet. Like nothing like outstanding, but overall, all of it was like good quality. In particular, the Longing really like was interesting to me. The one about waiting 400 days at a time. That's insane.
I was just about to mention
I
that.
have no idea. Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, There Is No Game, I think, is one that's kind of already been out for a little while, but I think, it'll be really interesting to see how that plays, because I haven't played that. But yeah, I think Ollie Ollie World and The Longing were the two that I was like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah, and I know
there's a lot of good ones.
This isn't one that I'm personally interested in, but I know a lot of people love Fez, so that's quite a big get for the Switch, because that's a very classic indie game. So it's good to see not just new stuff, but older stuff being brought to the Switch still. If there's a lot of shovelware on the Switch, but there's also a lot of damn good games out there. So too much for my wallet, that's for sure. But
sure.
But here's one, Kai, that you might be interested in. Because the great Ace Attorney Chronicles is being localized in the West for the first time, coming out July for Switch and PS4, I believe. What do you think of that, Kai?
That's pretty hype. I've always wanted to play one of the Ace Attorney games that I haven't spoiled myself on, which currently is just that, like anything that hasn't been localized and Spirit of Justice. So having one of the games actually like come out on Switch and everything is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Like I don't know too much about it, apart from just it hasn't been localized for years, but hopefully it will stay that way and I can like go into playing the game blind once it comes out, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. It should be good. Yeah,
do you have any interest in the Ace Attorney series, Tom?
Not particularly, but it's
Objection!
Not,
Sorry.
Jesus.
Couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Just taps my papers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have any objection to it. I just haven't really gotten around to it. To be honest, I feel like
good one.
I feel like it probably goes against Kai's. You like a lot of level 5 games. I haven't really played too many, to be honest. Other than is Mario Strikers? No, that's next level.
Is next level.
Next level.
I also think Ace Attorney is more so on the Capcom side of things.
Oh, of course it is. I'm getting that confused with Professor Layton.
I can see why you think that. They had a crossover game, so it is very similar sort of pointing boys.
Yeah, I've done that like twice now, I think, or 3 times. I've gotten confused. But yeah, no, I mean it does look very interesting. The most I know about Ace Attorney is Marvel vs. Capcom, and the fact that he can shout at people is part of his moveset. I think it's just really funny.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people want him in Smash. I know some people in our Discord server that want him in Smash, so that could be interesting. I've never played an Ace Attorney game either, but I think I might be interested in it. Maybe if the main trilogy goes on sale. Unlike Kai, I haven't been spoilt on any of it, so I might have to give it a go in my big, massive backlog of games that I need to play. But I'll get there eventually, one day, hopefully.
Sounds good.
Nice.
But let's move things on to our next topic, which is one I think, Tom, you'll be interested in this, because it's on Animal Crossing, which it's announced its next set of updates. That being said, the updates are pretty much the same updates as last time, but with cheese rolling. Is that right?
Cheese rolling? Cheese.
I think it was cheese rolling.
Excuse me.
I have not seen this. I mean, granted, I haven't had too much of a look into it. I've seen that it's the same kind of updates in terms of Mayday, which I think is out now from when we're recording this, and then there's the wedding event, which I think goes through June. But yeah, let me have a look at this cheese rolling thing quickly.
Yeah, it is cheese rolling. I know it's a thing in like the UK, I think, where they like roll cheese down the hill or something like that. For some reason, it's the UK. You sort of get used to stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Do we do that?
you don't.
I've
Kai?
heard of it. I thought it was a myth.
Good God, man! You just got the cheese roll.
Oh no. See, I did see a picture of like a bit of cheese on like a table, but I didn't know it was a cheese rolling event.
Well, I'm not sure how cheese rolling is going to translate to Animal Crossing. I don't know if it's just like an item, because I don't think it's an event. But
it says here, players will be able to collect special items associated with Cooper Hill's cheese rolling event between 22nd of May and the 31st of May.
You're telling me we can't actually go cheese rolling?
Man,
Blasphemy, honestly.
heresy.
Cheese Roller Meetup 2022. Let's make it happen.
We really
next year.
should, to be fair.
But cheese rolling aside, I don't know. It's good to see the game still going, but I kind of wish they made a few changes to the updates, maybe, or given them a bit more. I mean, it was about this time last year that I started to fall out the game personally, and these events didn't really do it for me. So they're not really going to do it for me a second time either. But you know what? Cheese rolling does sound pretty awesome, so I'll give it that.
I feel like what they really need is like a really dynamic update. I don't know what in particular, but you know, something that's like more multiplayer focused, maybe mini games, that sort of thing. Like something, just again, something a bit more active than throwing new items into the game. Because I'm sure new items are great. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people have fallen out with the game because it's gotten repetitive, I suppose. So
I would love.
maybe that's the trick.
I would personally love a lot of like quality of life updates, because there are things that like for no reason whatsoever are just a pain to do, and just can be just made so much easier. Just I don't know, like stuff like in Able Sisters, unless you're in the changing room, you can only buy one item at a time, and it has to go into your inventory. Whereas in the changing room, it can go straight to your house, or you know the way that you go to other people's islands, it takes ages to be like, oh, I want to do this, then this, then this, then this, then this, and then connect to online, then this. It's just like, surely you could just say, I want to go and visit someone online, and just it happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can select Dodo Code or friends or whatever. But it just certain things. I mean, granted, it is really good for customization, which I love. I love like building and kind of customizing characters and like worlds and like your house and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to like actual features, like you said, Kai, there isn't really too much in terms of what to do online multiplayer. Like we've played hide and seek and that, but like there isn't really too much other than just, oh, let's go fishing or, you know, catching bugs, and that's about it, you know.
Yeah, I think this game personally, I think whilst it did really good job in creating the customization stuff to it, I think that did come out a bit of a sacrifice, and that the sort of the sacrifice there was, I think like some of the things like the events felt a bit toned down from previous games. I think the villagers seem a bit more toned down from previous games, and there's the other parts of the game outside of the customization are still good, and they kept me playing for over 100 hours, so I can't complain. But I think that's why me, as someone who isn't into the customization, that's why I sort of ended up dropping off it. So it'd be nice to see if they could add some more things to do, like online with friends, like you were saying. Like the mazes, you know, if you could do some sort of maze thing with friends, that could be really fun, but
Yeah, for sure.
never know. We'll see how it goes. There's always more updates coming. Maybe we'll finally get Brewster. That's the big one.
Maybe.
It's been so long, man. There's no
it has.
sign of Brewster anywhere. Yeah.
But from sort of mildly lackluster online updates to an out of nowhere crazy online update, because Super Mario Party, out of nowhere, has added full online modes where you can play like the board games and all mini games, with a few exceptions, online. What?
I don't know why.
It's good, but
It's
what?
so weird.
Just kind of dropped that one on us, didn't they? Just
Yeah.
no warning.
Like, it's
Don't
out
get
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, it's literally been what, like 2 years maybe?
I think 2.5 years, I think.
Two
is
and
what
a
I heard.
half. And I've been through Super Mario Party, and I fully completed it because there's a way to like 100% the game kind of.
Mm.
And I went through and did all that, and it was fun. But I do wish they had like that multiplayer for everyone to do boards together from the beginning, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's such a weird game because it's the stuff that is there, like the mini games are fun and some of the side modes are fun. But then you look at the boards and you just think, why is there not any more to this game? Not even like online properly.
Are you saying, Kai, that the boards left you a little bit bored?
Bored, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the joke. Thanks.
Oh man.
It is kind of weird, you know. I can only imagine, my prediction is that maybe they're creating the sequel and they want to implement online in the sequel, and they're sort of using the one as a testing grounds, which I guess would make some level of sense. I mean, it's an objectively good move to add online to this game. It's just so bizarre that it's coming out now. So, I mean, the game was on sale just a month ago here in the UK. I might have been more interested if I'd known that then, but
Yeah.
strange.
I mean, it works for me. If anyone else has got it, then hit me up and we
Yeah.
can play Super Mario Party online, I guess.
Do you have it, Tom?
I don't, but I've played it around a friend's house multiple times.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would probably be quite nice to, play with people who aren't in the same room, especially, during COVID,
Yeah.
when you can't really see anyone. So I think, that would probably be. It's a good move, but again, probably a bit of a late one.
Yeah, I wonder if the pandemic did prompt it. Maybe, it's
Maybe.
possible because it's very much
Yeah,
a game
that's possible.
that does the multiplayer aspect, which is a large part of it. Just straight up does not work without online in the pandemic, unless your family wants to play. My family could not give two shits about video games though, so it's so not wouldn't work for me. But yeah, it's a good move, and hopefully this means that the next Mario Party game will launch straight out of the gate with it. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You never know
New
with
Super
Nintendo.
Mario Party.
Yeah. New Super Mario Party Deluxe.
Yeah.
With new funky mode coming out soon.
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Well,
Yeah.
this is quite a bold prediction, which I think brings us into the next topic here.
Yeah.
Good segues, isn't it? I'm on it today.
Yeah, you're on
Because
it.
Nintendo and Microsoft have announced that they're going to be at E3 this year. It's a digital E3, and there's a few other companies there, but those are the big ones. No Sony, once again. And on the surface, this doesn't necessarily mean too much for us because Nintendo always just announce their things in their own direct anyway. But this if although not technically, this pretty much guarantees we're getting an E3 direct from Nintendo. So that comes with it predictions of what are they going to announce, what big reveals could be coming that they may have been sitting on a while due to the pandemic. And just do you guys have any good predictions for what you want to see at E3?
Take it away, Tom. I need to think.
All right, sure. So I think I'll probably start with the one that I think everyone's probably thinking, being Breath of the Wild 2.
Yes.
Purely because of the fact that they've done 2 of these development updates already with no information given. They've basically said that they understand that there is demand there, and that the game is chugging along and they're getting some progress on it. But I feel like it would be a bit weird at E3 to do that again, because they've already done that twice, and it's like, well, we know that you really want it, but we don't have anything to show. I feel like they have to give at least something.
In the last direct, it was Anuma who said he confirmed that we are getting news on Breath of the Wild 2 this year, and while it doesn't have to be E3, it's got to be E3, hasn't it? I mean, that's the place
It's the best time to.
for Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. It has to be E3.
Yeah. I reckon as well, like, the bare minimum I think they could do, and I could see this happening, that they just kind of talk a little bit about it and they reveal the title. I think that could be something that they could do, because I remember Breath of the Wild did
That's
something
certainly
similar.
possible.
Just, like, about what it's called. Like it might give fans a little bit of a hint as to kind of what the game will be about, what we're looking to see. I know they said it's going to be a really dark tone, which I'm really excited about. But
maybe new artwork.
Yeah, could be.
That's the thing. I'm pretty 50-50 on whether or not it's going to be a full-on like Breath of the Wild blowout where they reveal loads to us about the game, or if it's just going to be another teaser trailer along the lines of what we got for the initial announcement. I feel like it could go either way, because if the game's coming out, say it comes out March 2022, which I think is a plausible release date given development time, now would be a good time to start announcing some more details on it. But it could be later. It could be coming out to do with a Switch Pro if that's happening, or it could not. There's so many things we don't know yet, so I'm really on the fence about it. But I think we'll see it for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely, in some form.
Hey, Breath of the Wild, come into the 3DS.
No.
Hey, you Link.
I'll play that. Hey, you Wolf Link, all the way.
Oh god. Kai, you got any predictions?
I guess because we have to talk about Xenoblade at some point or another. And I know, like, I've heard a lot of people saying, like, yeah, we're going to hear about Xenoblade 3 this time round, or something along those lines. If I'm being completely honest, as the Xenoblade person, I don't think we're going to see that much with Xenoblade. Based on, like, their schedule of when they release and reveal things and all that sort of thing. I feel like, at best, we might get, like, an announcement for Xenoblade X2, maybe?
Right.
Possible.
But I think that we're not going to get more than, like, an announcement, maybe. So that's as far as I would go with it.
I was thinking about that, actually, and I have it written down here. We could see Monolith's new IP.
Yeah.
That's the wild card.
Yeah,
that's the real wild card that we could see show up.
We've had bits and pieces of information, but like nothing major at all. And Torna was released in 2018, which I think was their last, unless they're working on Breath of the Wild 2, which they might be.
I think they are, but they have a massive team.
They've got part of their team.
Yeah,
True.
They're massive now.
But I reckon that if there's going to be anything from Monolith, I reckon it's either going to be X2 potentially or the new IP.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I wonder if they'll give it as sort of a if I remember correctly, Xenoblade X initially wasn't a Xenoblade title; it was something else. And then
you can see that in the game, can't you?
I wonder if we'll get something similar. If they're going to give it the Xenoblade branding now that the branding has a bit more of a clout to it now that it will sell. So I wonder if they'll give it that branding, make it a spin-off, or if it will just be completely separate. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
Let's see how unique it is.
Yeah. And if it has not one, basically. I would still buy it. We all would, let's be real.
Yeah, I won't lie.
We're sellouts. But the other thing, one of the other big ones, which I think is almost a guarantee, is Smash on some level. I feel like we're going to see the next fighter, and even potentially we could see the two fighters. We've had that before at E3, if I remember correctly, where they said, here's one coming out soon, and here's a teaser trailer for the next one coming out 2 months. So it's
Zero and Banjo.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely plausible we could see two of them, but I think at least for sure one. Who that's going to be, that's the question, which I have no clue.
Me neither.
We can't tell at this point. We really can't.
There are no rules anymore. Like, fans had like little rules of like, oh, it can't be this person, or it can't be that. There are no rules now, which I love, because it just keeps everyone on their toes. Because like nobody knows who could be in this game now. Like, how many slots have we got left? 2?
2, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of coming down to the wire. I feel like if they're going to go for one that's like less, I feel like they'll save the hypest one for last, unless they're doing another pack. Because, we all know what happened with last pack, Byleth being the last one. I think probably got, I'd say, maybe the least amount of hype out of all of the 5. So if Fight Pass 2 is the last one, though, I feel like they want to end on a bang.
Yeah. The last one, if it's going to be...
2.
What was that, Kai?
Steve 2. They just released Steve again.
I would be down. I love Steve.
How else are you going to go up from there? Let's be honest.
Exactly. They just show the reveal trailer again. It's Herobrine. They add Herobrine to the game.
Oh no.
Imagine.
No,
Master Hand, imagine. Oh my-
his Herobrine's reveal trailer is just like one of those old like YouTube videos of like Herobrine sighting, in really really close FOV or what is it called?
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, render
I'm not
distance.
even
That's
that
it.
I'm not even that into Minecraft. But you're kind of selling me on this trailer now, Tom. I'm not gonna lie. It's
Let's make it happen.
Just a red circle in the background. It's like, hold on, zoom in. He just had,
Everyone's listening in intently right now.
yeah, exactly.
he is. He's got the Herobrine figure in his drawer ready. So
Oh yeah, true. He has figures of the upcoming fighters, doesn't he?
exactly, so who's their figures of? That's the question.
Pyre and Mithra again.
I mean, that's the thing though. Since we got Power and Mithra, that was my only character I really, really wanted. So I don't even know who to ask for at this point.
Yeah.
Kai
Do
and
we
I,
really care anymore?
yeah, that's it. Kai and I did do a discussion way back when we did predictions, and we got two of them right, being we said Rex, but Pyro, Mithra, and Steve. And I can't even remember who else we said. I think I might have mentioned Gino, but I think that's pretty much out at this point.
Yeah.
So
Plants
it's
vs Zombies pea shooter. Let's make it.
Dr. Zombos in here.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, personally, one I really want is Amaterasu from Okami.
That'd be cool.
That's one that I
Nice.
really want, but that's probably my next hopeful one that's technically plausible. But I'm just happy to see whoever it is, Sakurai and his team will make them damn well. So I'm just excited.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
that's true.
I think the ones that I really, really wanted were like K. Rool and Banjo-Kazooie, and they got put in the game, so I was kind of like, okay, I'm along for the ride. And then they
Yeah.
added Steve, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I did want Steve. That's really cool. And I'm like, okay, now I'm along for the ride. And then they add Pirate and Mithra, and I'm just like, okay, there is no other character that I could possibly want at this point. So
Ron, Tom, there's one more.
Pepsi Man?
Skip the Grasshopper from
Skip
Bugden
the
2.
Grasshopper from Bugdom 2, the classic
Make it
Mac
happen.
game. Great
But,
game, great game.
Moving on from Smash, has anyone got any other ideas for Nintendo's E3, what they want to see or what they think we might see?
Not really. I mean, Galaxy Free. I don't know though.
That'd be kind
Prime
of cool.
4? Is it
Trine 4?
not
There
Trine
already is a
4,
Trine
Prime
4.
4?
Oh, I thought you said Trine 4. I was thinking, hang on, what? Wrong
Release it
game.
again.
Yeah. Just again.
I genuinely think we could see a new 3D Mario game though, because what was the last one we had?
Odyssey.
2017,
3D,
Odyssey.
It must have been Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like we could have a Galaxy Free Odyssey 2, something along those lines, because we haven't seen one of those in such a time. But
Yeah.
who knows?
I guess.
We'll see. We did have 3D World released
Yeah,
recently.
technically Bowser's Fury is new content, but yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
Anything else, Tom?
Not sure though.
I have a couple of like just notes here and there, if you don't mind me going through them. Like,
Go for it.
Go for it.
so I reckon probably Prime 4. I'm not 100% sure on, but I reckon out of the two that were announced like ages ago that we haven't heard anything about, I think Bayo 3 is probably the more likely of the two because it hasn't had a development restart.
Yeah.
It was
You'd
revealed
like to
at the
think
end
so.
of- Yeah, well, fingers crossed. Yeah, it was announced at the end of 2017, which was quite a while ago. So I think probably out of the two, that's probably more likely to get some form of update. I think the two that would probably get update, three actually, I guess. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They haven't been given a release date yet.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah, we'll get more news on that maybe.
Yeah, so I reckon probably a story trailer, maybe like, Palkia, Dialga, Team Galactic, and then a release date.
That would make
Nice,
sense.
yeah.
And then the other two that come out pretty close after E3, which I think they'll probably do updates of like, hey guys, these are still coming out. No More Heroes 3 and Mario Golf Super Rush.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
Good chance.
Okay.
No More Heroes comes out in August, and Super Rush comes out in literally later in June. So I reckon Super Rush is probably going to be like, oh, next week it's out, or whatever.
I mean, on that topic, actually, another one that comes out in June is Skyward Swords HD.
True.
And with that, do you think we could get any other Zelda 35th announcements? Do you think they've been saving any, or is Skyward Sword HD all there is?
There is the 3D collection people are rumouring. I'm not
Yeah.
too sure about it, but potentially.
It would make sense to just have Wind Waker and HD and Twilight Princess HD in a bundle. I think that would make sense.
Maybe. We'll see.
That would be pretty cool.
So has anyone got
Something like that, though.
any final E3 predictions?
No, I can't think of any. I don't really know what's going to show up. Really, it's going to be a real unpredictable.
Fake fan, Kai. You didn't say Pikmin 4. Not good enough.
We've lost hope at this point.
No, a true Pikmin fan has given up hope. Let's be honest.
Oh, I'll give you that.
Maybe a new Kirby game. Star Allies came out in 2018, and
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
The last two kind of Kirby games in quotations would be like Super Kirby Clash and Kirby Fighters 2. Came out in 2019 and 2020, but neither of them were like traditional Kirby games, and they were only available on the eShop, so we haven't got like a full release for a while. So
Right.
maybe a new Kirby game, and then I guess
plausible.
one, yeah, and I guess ones that I would just love to see personally would be like Banjo-Kazooie on Switch. Like that's just a dream. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3. Like,
Yes.
if they brought back
Right.
K. Rool and the Kremlings as the villains in Country Returns 3,
That'd be
that would be so cool. Just to bring it full circle. I
Okay.
think, sorry. Finest hour. And I think just some other ones that I think would just be really cool. Sorry, I'm waffling, I know.
No, go for it.
I think one that we're all quite fond of, Mario Strikers, would be really cool to see.
Yes. We need it.
We do need it, man.
Please.
It would be really cool.
I'm desperate.
And then
Kai will sell his soul.
he will.
I will.
That and Pikmin 4. Those are the bargaining chips for his soul.
Those are the main ones.
Yeah.
That's it.
And two that I would just love to see anyway, because they're some of my favourite games, are Portal 2 and Fallout 4. Having ports of them on the Switch, I think would just like, I would sink far too many hours into them if they were put on the Switch, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely possible. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I could definitely see those.
Those are all I've got.
Oh, I guess one more. Sorry, one more. I just remembered. I don't know if Bethesda are doing anything, but you reminded me of it with Fallout. But we could see the next Elder Scrolls have some news because we haven't heard about that in ages. But Elder Scrolls 6. Yes, please.
been 4 years,
Yeah,
hasn't it?
Microsoft are going to be there. Yeah, and they own Bethesda now. So
oh yeah, they
you're
do.
very
now,
right.
Of course. Let's go. Come on,
I hope so.
please.
I think we looked it up at the other day, and it's been like 4 years, which is insane.
It's too long.
It has been too long.
Come on, Todd.
Come on,
Stop re-releasing Skyrim.
take a break. Take a break from the
It's been
Skyrim.
10
review.
years.
Tell me lies.
You'll have Skyrim on your smartwatch and you'll like it.
Guess so.
But that pretty much brings us to the end of the news updates, I believe. So quite a few stuff there, and hopefully we'll find out a little bit more in the upcoming months. E3 is going to be hype. But, of course, we haven't just been looking forward to new games. We've been playing like some games ourselves. So that brings us to the next segment of the podcast, Games Time, baby, where we have a look at the different games we've been playing throughout the past month. And Tom, would you like to start us off with something you've been playing?
Sure. Well, aside from Animal Crossing, which I've kind of been playing on and off every day, a new one that I got, which has been recommended to me for years on years, is Hotline Miami.
Right.
The collection of both 1 and 2 were put on Switch, and they were on sale the other week, and I got both, and yeah, they're really good. Very, very different to kind of a lot of games that I've played, and I'm not, I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I'm very bad at it. It's hard. But it's a cool one to kind of figure out how to get around the challenges of the game. Yeah, so I've been enjoying playing that just a little bit in my spare time. But yeah.
That's nice,
That's
yeah.
the top-down shooter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a top-down shooter. I've never played one before, so it's been a bit of getting used to.
Sounds good. That like pixely style that it has is always like a cool one to try out because it's kind of unique in a way that when games have that compared to your AAA types.
Totally, yeah. What about you
Yeah,
guys?
it's a big classic, so definitely one that I need to try out sometime. I mean, I mentioned last month that I started playing Hades. I haven't really played more of that, but recently. But that's a very sort of like top-down sort of fast-paced game. Well, I don't know if there's some sort of similarities there with the style of combat, maybe. So definitely need to try out more indie stuff. There's so much of it on the Switch. It's crazy.
There's loads, yeah.
But,
Speaking of indie... oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah? No, go on, Tom.
Okay, no, I was just going to say, speaking of indie stuff, I've been replaying A Short Hike. That's one that you and I both quite like, Matt.
Yes, great game.
It's one of, if not my favourite indie games. It's just really charming. Yeah, been playing.
It's up there with Celeste for me. Funnily enough, they're both games about hiking up a mountain, but they're very different feel to them. So
yeah, true.
I'll play it eventually.
you will, Kai. You will play
you.
A Short Hike. You will play Astral Chain, and you will do it on stream. Damn it! No arguments.
Oh dear.
What have you been playing, Kai?
I've got 2 games actually. I
Nice.
suppose I'll talk about the one that you guys know of first, and that is Triangle Strategy.
Yeah.
And let me say, like, I thought it was really fun. I'm not gonna lie, because it's got a lot of similarities to Fire Emblem, like you'd expect, but it's got a little bit more depth to it with like elements, back attacks, height advantages, all that. It's a huge amount of fun. The story seems okay in, like, you know, it's good in parts, boring in parts, but of course we haven't seen the full picture of it, so I can't make a full judgment of that yet.
Yeah.
But the gameplay and the whole concept of like choosing your path and everything, it's a very cool concept that to me feels like a very good variation of Fire Emblem. That's definitely what it feels like to me, like a healthy deviation from it. So
Tom,
it's been really fun when I played it on stream.
Yeah, did you try out the demo, Tom?
I have not tried it out yet.
Ooh. Is it something that interests you, or you gotta skip it?
I don't know. I'll see. I mean, Octopath, it's similar style to Octopath, but in terms of like graphics and that, and I really loved how it looked. But Octopath wasn't really for me gameplay wise. I'm not a huge fan of those kind of classic turn-based RPGs like the older Final Fantasies. So yeah, I'll definitely give it a try. I mean, it looked really fun when you were playing it on stream.
Yeah, it is. Whilst the gameplay isn't like Octopath in the sense of it's more of a tactical RPG along the lines of Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy Tactics, but at the same time, it's got some of that Octopath Traveler old school difficulty, which some could call bullshit at times. It's got definitely some of that, so that sort of turns me off it a bit, and I can see why it turns you off it as well.
Yeah. But no,
it's definitely one of those games where like you need to really be into that style of game to enjoy it, and if not, then it's fair.
Yeah.
So
absolutely, I think.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go on, Tom.
No, I was just gonna say, do we know if our mate Carl is excited about it, because he's quite big into his Fire Emblem?
I don't know,
I'm
actually.
not sure what his verdict was.
He did play it, but I don't remember what he said. You know, that we have to get Carl on now. That's.
There's no tea time in the game from what we've seen, so maybe that's why it's.
I bet you that's what Carl's put. You know, the little survey you had to do for advice. That's what he's put on there. Tea time.
Not enough tea time. It's a deal breaker, to be fair.
Absolutely, that's what I put for sure. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. I mean, I already talked to myself about it last month, but it needs some polishing. But there's a really good start there, so it should be a good game next year. I guess I'll say one game that I've been playing, and that is I mentioned last time that I sort of needed a bit of a break from playing massive RPGs and playing something more chill. Chill may be a bit loose here, but I decided to play Professor Layton and Pandora's Box, or the Diabolical Box, depending on where you're from. I think that's the 2 names for it. Am I right there, Guy?
That is, yep.
Yes,
that's correct.
I know stuff. But yeah, I've played these games before, so they're not new to me. And I replayed Curious Village maybe 2 years ago or so, but it was just a nice one. It was just a nice way to sort of chill in the evenings, do some puzzles. It's got a really interesting story. It's a bit far-fetched, as Layton often gets towards the end. Maybe a little bit silly. That's part of the charm, though, isn't it? It's kind of dumb, but it's quite fun and it's quite wholesome. And yeah, the game just has a lot of character to it. The puzzles are really good, even if some of them drove me crazy. Kai, you heard me on your stream. Chess. That one took me ages. I'll admit I won it.
Which chess one was it, by the way? Was it the one with the knights?
Yeah, you have to move the knights to cover every space on the board, basically. But you can only hit each space once.
Did you try like doing it properly?
I mean, I sort
getting good. The game.
I got good eventually. After a few hours.
Damn, 4D chess looking different.
I'm telling you, Tom, it's crazy.
Layton's always. It's been a good series though, and I think Diabolical Box. Yeah, it's the second one in the series. it's definitely very like unique compared to the other ones, because all the other games are like they're very exploration based, where you go to all these different areas that you then like can revisit and stuff. Whereas in Pandora/Diabolical Box, although you still do that with areas like Full Sense, a lot of the game is spent on the Voluntary Express, the train. So it's interesting how you're kind of going back and forth on this train, and you're meeting the same like smaller, more focused group of characters over and over again. And I felt like that was a big upgrade from Curious Village, that rather than having all these random ones all over the place, you've got like a focused group here that you keep seeing.
Yeah.
Such as the Sammy, what is he? He's the conductor or whatever.
He's a train conductor, the owner's nephew. Yeah,
it's so cool seeing characters like that more often.
And funnily enough, on the topic of tea time, it does have tea time in this game. So,
Carl, have we got a game for you, mate?
Oh, he loves his Layton.
Yeah.
True, actually, yeah.
It makes sense now.
It makes sense. The pattern's all there.
Yeah. We're sorry, Carl. We're not really. We're a little sorry. But yeah, it's good fun. You know, the puzzles, they sort of all blend together for me every game. They're all pretty decent, at least from the ones I've played. But it's a nice story. I think I prefer Curious Village overall. I haven't replayed them recently, and I'll have to replay Lost Future or Unwound Future to reassert my opinions on that. But I had good fun with it.
Right. Don't do it.
Look, I made it through Torna. I can make it through this with only a few tears.
All right.
You said you had another game, Kai, that you played.
Yes. What was it again? Oh yeah. So in the build-up to Miitopia being released,
right.
I've been playing a bit of Tomodachi Life. Like I reset the island.
Oh,
Nice.
And it's been fun. I've been putting all the Xenoblade characters on there from Xenoblade 1 and 2.
That's cool.
And just like seeing how they interact and that sort of thing. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's one of those like weird games like The Sims where you can't, you don't do a lot. You just kind of observe. But there are certain parts of the game, like the wackiness and especially like the humour it's a little cheesy at times, but a lot of the time it's surprisingly good still to me.
I mentioned this to you during our 3DS discussion, I think. But the fact that it has them worshipping the Virtual Boy, I think that says enough. So
that's exactly it. Yeah. Like there's so many like weird bits in the game that just hold up in humour.
Yeah.
And you've still got things that the really funny bits, like you've got a photo mode, you've got rankings boards, and the main one, of course, is the concert hall with the songs that you can make.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of potential for some good songs to be made there, let me tell you. So yeah, it's just like I feel like Miitopia, it definitely improved on it by making it more like an active RPG with stats and things. But for people who prefer the game to be a bit more relaxed, I think Tomodachi Life is honestly pretty good.
I want to see it on Switch.
Nintendo game.
Yeah, I missed it on 3DS, so I'd love to see that get the same treatment as Miitopia.
Would have been nice to see it in a bundle with Miitopia, to be honest. I would have preferred that.
That would have been nice.
It's fine. It's fine either way.
Yeah.
Did you play Tomodachi Life, Tom?
I haven't. No. My name is literally in the game. No.
It is.
Duckadachi Life? Huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. BeMoreDuck Life, the classic, of course. Yeah, I never played it. It's one that, again, a lot of people I knew played when I was kind of growing up, or not even that, just in kind of secondary school. And it did look really fun. Like I've seen the gifs of them, worshipping the Virtual Boy and the concert halls and all the memes and stuff you could do on that. But again, that and Miitopia are ones that I really skipped. I mainly just played for me games. I just played Street Pass Quest just all the time.
Yep. It was good.
It was good.
Street Pass Quest is good.
It was really good fun. And I remember, like, especially when going to the airport and stuff, it's just the gold mine for Street Pass. And you get off the plane and just be like loads and loads of people added onto it, and you could go on these adventures and stuff. But yeah, no, I haven't actually tried it out. I do want to give Miitopia on the Switch a look, because I've just seen all the creations that people have made with all the Miis. Like some of the stuff that you could do on there, like I've seen Kai one I think you'd quite like is someone made Sus Germa.
Amazing. The game's got so much potential.
Exactly.
It has.
It does look really cool. I'm really looking forward to trying it out. But yeah, that's and I think probably the other only game that I've been playing, and I feel I'd feel bad if I didn't mention it, would be Weevils Rewritten.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
So Weevils was an old web-based Flash game from my childhood, and it's been remade by a group of fans in the community after Flash Player got axed. And yeah, it's just really cool going back into it. Just they're keeping up to date with, like, you know, different events and all that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just a really nice nostalgia trip, really. And that's mainly what I've been doing. That and Animal Crossing, just kind of hopping in a little bit every day, doing a bit of customization stuff.
I think it's one of those things where, although it's a shame that the Flash sort of got taken down, in a weird way that sort of made these communities more active than ever. I mean, it sort of caused people to start playing these games again and start showing their interest again.
For sure. I mean, the original Weevils, like, I mean, the company's been liquidated now anyway, but it hadn't had an update in years. Like, it basically survived on advertisements that were put out, very much just plastered across the game. Like, oh, you're playing in a game about little bugs in a bin, but then there's just a massive picture of Optimus Prime, and you click on it and it plays a trailer of Transformers, new animated show.
Yeah.
That's basically how the game got kept going after all these years. But yeah, the team was dwindling and there were no updates. No one knew how to update the game, but luckily, kind of with back-end coding and that kind of thing, they're able to put the old files in and able to make new items and all this, that, and the other. It's just really cool to kind of see a bit of life sprinkled into something that, was I would have thought was kind of left behind when I was about like 7. But yeah, it's always nice to have those nostalgia trips for sure.
Praise 2D-Bug.
2D-Bug and Goody.
Praise be. Amen.
Amen. They haven't got bin pets yet. Yeah, they haven't added in bin pets yet, so Goody isn't isn't in the game yet. But once they add it, I'll probably stream it. Just
hashtag bring back Goody. Get it trending, people.
Get it trending. Yeah. I expect #1 on trending right now.
Yeah. Yes, but that basically brings us to the end of the podcast then. However, we did say that we have an announcement for the anniversary, so let's just go ahead with that, because we wanted to do a sort of a video celebrating the 1-year anniversary of BunchaJokahs, and we weren't really sure what it should be. And then we got the great idea of, let's be just incredibly lazy and let the audience decide what it's going to be about. And that's essentially what we're doing, because we are going to be doing a Q&A video in which we want to hear your video game related questions. We're going to be taking as many of those as we can, and on the 16th of May we will be releasing a video answering as many as we can fit in about 45-50 minutes. And yeah, that's basically what we're going to do, and it should be good fun. So just to clarify things, these can be any questions to do with video games, anything gaming, or to do with our channel. So if you want to ask something like, what's our favourite Zelda game? What are our thoughts on a specific game? Who's our favourite donkey in video gaming? It can be weird, doesn't matter what. Well, I say doesn't matter what, we will have some rules later. But, we've got to lay some ground rules down. But yeah, pretty much any sort of video game related question. And you can submit those in the comments of this video down below. We'll also be taking some questions from our friends across different Discords and that, just so we have enough to go through. And to clarify said rules, I shouldn't have to say it, but nothing not safe for work. We are not talking about the best feat in gaming. I'm just going to put that one right out there.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay.
Not happening.
I was not expecting that.
Someone's going to submit it anyway, I know it. But anyway,
Yeah.
we also will only answer things that we can answer. So if you ask us what our favourite God of War game is, we won't be able to answer that because we know absolutely nothing. And also, you can submit multiple questions if you want, and that's absolutely fine. But do put your best questions first, because we will be prioritising to make sure everyone gets their question answered before we move on to people's second questions, etc. But that's pretty much it, yeah. So there's not really a major deadline. I guess just within 2 weeks of this video releasing, so we have it in time for when we record the video. Just send us your questions, and if you have any more questions about any of the rules or whatever, you can ask us below in the comments again, or ask us on Twitter or something. But it should be good fun, and we're looking forward to see what questions we have to talk about. So yeah, please fire them away.
How many Kit Kats do you pay Sam?
Okay, I can answer that one now. 0.
None. Nothing.
But yeah, that's should be good fun. So please do contribute to that any way you can. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But until then, though, that does bring us to the end of the video. So I just got to give a huge thanks. Tom, thank you for joining us for this video. It's been great fun.
Oh, no worries, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's been good fun.
Anytime, yeah. We'd love to have you back again sometime. And would you like to tell people some places they can find you at?
Yeah, for sure. So I don't really have too much of a big online presence, but I stream on Twitch every Monday and every other Saturday at twitch.tv/BeMoreDuck with like underscores in between every word. And you can also find me on Twitter under the same name. There isn't really much there. It's mainly just Animal Crossing screenshots and like memes of questionable quality. But you know, it's there if you want it.
Yeah, we'll have links to that in the description below. So definitely go check it out. It's great videos. And you know what? It's always Sus Saturdays. You know that's what we live for. So
Sus Saturdays.
Oh yeah.
And Kai, where can people find you at?
Similarly, twitch.tv/Fascarine. I also stream every Thursday and then every other Saturday when Tom's not streaming. Come on over for some Rhythm Heaven FIFA at the moment, as well as multiplayer stuff on Saturdays too. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, but I probably won't post anything, so don't expect much.
Hey Kai, you always like the video update posts, so there's that.
That's true.
That's something.
I guess so.
And of course, we got to give a big thanks to Sam, who is despite the fact we bully him, he is a great guy. He's our graphic designer, does all the work behind the scenes for the channel. So we really appreciate him, and you can find links to his Twitter in the description below as well. But that pretty much brings us right to the end then. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and do stay tuned to BunchaJokahs for more monthly podcasts, reactions to different news that might be coming up, our ongoing gameplay series of Trine, and our Q&A video, which once again, please submit your questions in the comments below. Until then, we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. That's terrific.